Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. Guys, I've been asked, um, and I wanted to get your guys' take on this as well. Who's the best light heavyweight, excluding Canelo? Who's the best light heavyweight? And I wanted to talk about Dmitry Bivol and Beterbiev, who are the conceived best at light heavyweight. I wanted to say, who do I think wins? You know, a lot of people have their opinions about who wins this fight. I think, look, I think they're both good fighters, and I think they're both really, really good. I like both. I think Bivol is obviously a good boxer, very fast hands, fast feet. He's very spiteful as well. You know, I think a lot of people saying that he can't punch. I'm not so sure. I've watched back some of his fights, and I think he's a bit more spiteful than what we're giving him credit for. Like his fight against John Pascal, you know, he's pushing John Pascal on the back foot, and you know, I think he's very, very dangerous. I don't think he's this feather-fisted guy that once I thought as well. I think he's a lot more than that. I think this guy is definitely a spiteful, fast-handed fighter. He's not a concussive knockout guy, but I do think his last couple of fights have been unimpressive. Now, one thing we do know that against Canelo, he's going to up his game, of course. So yeah, I think Bivol is a very highly skilled fighter, and I think he's a problem for anybody in the light heavyweight division. I think he's a very, very skilled champion that deserves probably a little bit more credit. And I think because of Beterbiev's style, I think Beterbiev obviously is knocking dudes out. He's looking ruthless. And I think Bivol goes a bit under the radar. But that doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, Bivol's not a top fighter. He most certainly is. And he can fight. And he's a good fighter. Definitely a good fighter. Beterbiev, on the other hand, he's a monster. You know, a very highly skilled amateur. A guy that's fought them all. You know, dropping Alexander Usyk as an amateur. As a pro, he hasn't put a foot wrong, you know, apart from being put down against Callum Johnson. You know, this guy has absolutely obliterated everyone that has come in his way. He's done it ruthlessly. He's a vicious man. And, you know, I think anyone that steps in the ring with him has to be ready to be involved in a war, in a fight where they're going to be taken to very, very deep waters. That's the kind of fighter Artur Beterbiev is. Beterbiev isn't a guy that plays around. Beterbiev is a guy that goes in there and looks to seek and destroy. He's a bit like Golovkin in that sense. He's for me, a bigger version of Golovkin. People may say Golovkin's better, but Beterbiev is in the same kind of ballpark. He's a monster. He is definitely a monster, and a guy that is, like I said, he's coming to look to burn you down. He's looking to come and destroy you. He slowly sucks the energy, sucks the life out of you, and wears you down and beats you up. You know, this is definitely a vicious fighter. A guy that, you know, I think is one of the best out there, you know, not just in the light heavyweight division, but out there as a fighter. In terms of pressure fighter, I think he's the best, one of the best pressure fighters in the game right now. I think he's that good. I think the way he breaks you down, the way he slowly sucks the life out of you and then wears you down and knocks you out, it's beautiful to watch in terms of how he does it. He's definitely a lot more than meets the eye to a lot. Like, I think a casual boxing fan won't understand what Beterbiev does inside that ring. But I think, you know, if you're a hardcore boxing fan that really understands the game, really understands the sport, you know what Artur Beterbiev does is no joke. Artur Beterbiev is one of the best in the game right now. I do believe that he's a special talent. Bivol and Artur Beterbiev, how will that fight go? Look, I've had my opinion on this, and I won't change. I believe Artur Beterbiev would wear and slow Bivol down and stop him and knock him out. Bivol is a very skilled fighter, very good mover, but he's not that big. And I have my doubts whether he could. Look, I think he has respectable power, but can he really knock out Beterbiev? I don't think so, whereas I know Beterbiev can knock him out. Also, what people don't give Beterbiev credit for, Beterbiev is a much better boxer than what you think he is. So it's not just the fact that he's a huge puncher and he's a great pressure fighter. He's also a very good boxer, a technical boxer, a guy that's got a very stellar amateur background. So this is a much better boxer than we give him credit for. And then when you add the power, the pressure fighting ability, I think it makes it very hard for Dmitry Bivol, because I don't think Bivol would knock Beterbiev out. and Bivol would have to fight a perfect fight for 12 rounds, and I'm not sure against someone as skilled, as hard hitting as, because no one's been able to push Beterbiev back, and that's a problem. No one's been able to push Beterbiev back on the back foot, and I don't think Bivol would either. I think Bivol would be on the back foot against Beterbiev, but Bivol would have to box a perfect fight, and in order to beat Beterbiev, right? In order to beat Beterbiev, you have to be able to hurt him, in my opinion. If you can't hurt him, and you're someone like Bivol, who's not as big as Beterbiev, yet in terms of height, he might be slightly taller, but in terms of size and strength and physique, Beterbiev is bigger than Dmitry Bivol. So in that sense, Bivol's, for me, a smaller guy. And if he's not able to hurt Beterbiev and put Beterbiev on the back foot, then Beterbiev will walk straight through him, and there's not much Bivol's going to be able to do. Simple as that. It doesn't matter how good a boxer Bivol is. It doesn't matter how good he is. If he's not able to hurt and push Beterbiev back on the back foot, then he can't win the fight. Simple as that. I didn't like Bob Arum's comments about the fact that, saying that, Bivol's a nothing fight. Almost saying that, the fight that fans would want to see because they were viewed as the two best light heavyweights. And this is a problem with boxing. A lot of people are looking at the business side rather than pleasing the fans. Oh, well, Bivol and Beterbiev is a bit of a boring fight. What does that do? No. They're the two best light heavyweights, and they should be fighting. Now that Canelo's entered the light heavyweight division, I think, again, all the light heavyweights are just going to look to wait for the Canelo fight. But really, that was a fight that really should have been made by now, Bivol, Beterbiev. They've made Beterbiev and Smith, which, if Canelo hadn't entered the light heavyweight division, look, they could do that. I don't know. No, they can't do that. If Canelo beats Bivol, then, obviously he'll have the belt. But if Bivol is successful against Canelo, I reckon the Beterbiev fight should be made, because that makes that fight massive then, right? Then all of a sudden, the Bivol and Beterbiev fight becomes huge. So, if Bivol pulls off the upset, then I think the Beterbiev fight should be made. I think if Canelo was to lose to Bivol, there'll probably be a rematch. Most likely, I don't think Beterbiev, Bivol, Canelo would just move on from that. But what would happen with the Golovkin situation then? Because Canelo signed to fight Golovkin. So there's a lot of things. That, will come into play. But Beterbiev and Bivol is a great fight. And it's not going to happen, because obviously if Bivol loses now, there's going to be no incentive for that fight. The only way that fight could happen is if Bivol wins, and then Beterbiev wins, and then they look to make an undisputed fight. But otherwise, that's not going to happen now. And that was a great fight. Bivol Beterbiev would have been a great fight. And this is the problem with boxing, is that unfortunately good matchups never seem to get made, and fans want to see these matchups because these are great fights. Bivol and Beterbiev is a great fight. Without question, it's a great fight. It's a light heavyweight square off between the two best. We don't know if they're the two best now that there's a Canelo that's entered the market. But in terms of before that, these two were seen as the two best guys. And, when we have a promoter that promotes one guy coming out and saying, well, it's not a fight that, really is boring fight, that to me, I'm sorry, it's just not good enough. It's just not good enough because, fans want to see these guys square off. Fans want to see these guys fight, So, I was a bit disappointed by that comment, to be brutally honest with you. I expect better for someone like as experienced and as, Bob Arum is. I think, making the best fight the best is what we want to see as boxing fans, not, mediocre fights and then saying, what do they bring to the table, or it's a boring fight. No. Hardcore fans, it's not a boring fight. It's not like in America, a lot of these guys are doing huge pay-per-view numbers, or these guys are, selling out. They're not, Beterbiev Bivol may not be a huge pay-per-view fight, may not do big numbers. But at the end of the day, look, there's ways to make the fight. I'm pretty sure both guys aren't earning stupid money anyway. So there's maybe other ways of making that fight. I just didn't like the Bob Arum's comments there when he said that, look, it's probably not going to happen now anyway, so there's no point of worrying about it, because like I said, if Bivol loses, then it's game over, really, isn't it? But we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see how this all plays out. I'm looking forward to the May 8th, and I'm looking forward to June when Beterbiev takes on Smith. Let's see how this all plays out, and I'll see you all Who do you guys think wins, Beterbiev or Bivol, if they were to fight? For me, Beterbiev is the best light heavyweight in the world, and he would knock out Dmitry Bivol. Leave your thoughts, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.